There's only so much you can see between the clay, the water, but it's real. And that's the important part. There's a wood structure down there, and at that point it becomes, okay, can't stop now.
For more than 228 years, Oak Island has guarded its biggest secret. Countless explorers have searched the island, fortunes have been spent, and generations have left without finding the truth. Everything changed when a drill reached nearly 180 feet below the surface. Within moments, the entire operation came to a sudden halt, and the silence that followed shocked even the most experienced treasure hunters. Rick Lagina slowly stepped away from the site and quietly said 7 unforgettable words. "Maybe we're not ready to open it." Coming from a man who has spent over 12 years and more than $100 million searching for Oak Island's greatest mystery, those words left everyone stunned. So, what was hidden beneath Oak Island that made Rick wonder if it should remain undiscovered? Was it the legendary money pit, a hidden chamber, or something no one had ever imagined? Stay with us until the end, because this discovery could change the history of Oak Island forever. If you're fascinated by mysterious discoveries, hidden treasures, and history's greatest unsolved mysteries, be sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss what's coming next. It all started with a signal that nobody could explain. For more than 230 years, Oak Island has remained one of the world's greatest unsolved mysteries. Explorers, wealthy investors, government officials, and famous treasure hunters have all come searching for its hidden secret. Yet every expedition ended the same way, with unanswered questions and empty hands. Rick and Marty Lagina refused to accept that ending. Season after season, they dug deeper into the island, invested millions of dollars, and followed every clue, no matter how unlikely it seemed. Then, during season 13, their determination led to a discovery that no one on the team expected. Late one evening inside the command center, engineers were conducting a routine deep ground survey beneath the money pit when every monitor suddenly lit up with warning alerts. New signals appeared so quickly that confusion spread across the room. At first, everyone believed the equipment had failed because similar false readings had happened before. But technical specialist Emma Culligan wasn't convinced. She restarted the scan, checked the system, and repeated the process several times. Every result matched the previous one exactly. Nearly 180 feet below the surface, the instruments detected an object with a metallic density almost 68% greater than anything around it. The reading didn't match natural rock, an empty cavity, or interference from drilling equipment. What made the discovery even more unusual was its shape. Every scan revealed the same straight edges, connected underground passages, and a dense metallic mass positioned at the center. 3 separate scans produced identical images without a single difference. After studying the results for a few moments, Emma quietly said, "This doesn't appear to be natural." At that moment, the search on Oak Island entered a completely new chapter. The evidence suggested they were no longer searching for ordinary buried treasure. Whatever lay beneath the island appeared much larger, far older, and carefully built by human hands. Computer data can always be questioned, and technical readings sometimes have simple explanations. But what happened at 3 o'clock that morning left almost no room for doubt. The team carefully lowered a specially modified borehole camera into the narrow drilling shaft while everyone watched the monitors in complete silence. As the camera slowly descended, it passed muddy walls and flowing groundwater, exactly what the team expected to see. Everything seemed normal until the camera passed 170 feet below the surface. Suddenly, a smooth stone wall appeared on the screen. Unlike ordinary underground rock, its surface looked carefully carved and almost perfectly flat, the kind of finish nature rarely creates by itself. A few moments later, the camera shifted slightly, revealing old wooden beams emerging from the darkness. Although badly decayed with age, the timbers were arranged in a clear pattern that could only have been placed there intentionally. They appeared to support the walls of an ancient tunnel built centuries ago. The room fell completely silent. Then, something even more remarkable happened. 3 bright metallic reflections flashed across the monitor from somewhere deeper below the camera's view. The footage was replayed immediately, and the same flashes appeared in the exact same spot every time. Emma enlarged the recording frame by frame, while engineers leaned over her shoulder, studying every detail. No one spoke until one crew member finally broke the silence. He quietly said, "If people built this, then it's been hidden here for centuries." Think about what that means. Hidden, not forgotten, not buried by accident, but deliberately concealed. That single observation changed everything. The search was no longer just about finding treasure. It had become a search for proof that someone, hundreds of years ago, had gone to extraordinary lengths to ensure whatever lay beneath Oak Island would never be discovered. Despite the excitement over the discovery, the engineering team wasn't celebrating. Just a few hours after reviewing the footage, new geological stability reports arrived, and every one of them carried serious warnings. Beneath the money pit, a dangerous collapse zone nearly 12 feet wide had formed. Soil resistance had dropped by almost 40%, while underground pressure continued rising well beyond safe limits. Then another familiar threat returned. Oak Island's legendary flood tunnel system appeared to activate once again. Between 8,000 and 10,000 gallons of water every hour poured into the excavation through hidden underground channels. Massive industrial pumps worked around the clock, removing nearly 250,000 gallons every day. Even so, the water level kept rising. With every passing hour, the ground around the money pit became softer, weaker, and more unstable, turning the team's greatest discovery into its most dangerous challenge yet. A senior engineer quietly pulled Rick Lagina aside and gave him a warning he couldn't ignore. "We may be standing on the edge of one of history's greatest discoveries," he said, "but sending anyone down there right now would be extremely dangerous." At that moment, the atmosphere across the entire site changed. Rick stepped away from the monitors without saying a word. He walked into the cold night, past the floodlights, until he reached the edge of the excavation. Crew members who had worked beside him for more than a decade watched from a distance, unsure of what was going through his mind. None of them had ever seen him like this. This was the same man who refused to give up after countless setbacks, who kept investing his time, money, and hope when everyone else believed the search was over. He had always found a reason to keep digging, but now he simply stood there, staring into the darkness below. After a long silence, he finally said, "If what those scans are showing is really down there, maybe we're not ready to open it." Moments later, the active drilling operation, a project worth nearly $12 million, was brought to a complete stop. For the first time in more than 12 years of searching, Rick Lagina walked away from the excavation. Although the drilling had stopped, the investigation continued inside the war room. Engineers, analysts, and historians carefully reviewed every piece of data they had collected. What they discovered next made the earlier findings seem even more remarkable. Emma Culligan and the technical team compared the latest scan results with excavation maps dating back more than 2 centuries. As the information was layered together, an unexpected pattern began to emerge. Old tunnel records, flood tunnel locations, and unexplained collapse zones from previous expeditions all appeared to connect. Instead of pointing to a single underground chamber, the evidence suggested an entire hidden network beneath the island. The latest scans didn't stop at 180 feet. Similar anomalies continued deeper, reaching nearly 200, 210, and even 220 feet below the surface, with metallic readings that appeared even stronger than the original signal. As the imaging became more detailed, the underground structure seemed to spread in several directions, growing larger with each new analysis. One historian revisited reports written by some of the earliest treasure hunters in the early 1800s. Those explorers had described finding stone-lined passageways and wooden platforms deep beneath the island, but for generations their claims had been dismissed as exaggerated stories. Now, surprisingly, the modern scan data appeared to match many of those forgotten accounts with remarkable accuracy. A geologist estimated what such a massive metallic concentration could be worth if it were successfully recovered. His estimate reached nearly $309 million. The figure instantly silenced the room, but it also raised an even bigger question. If an engineered underground vault system truly exists beneath Oak Island, complete with connecting tunnels, flood defenses, and carefully built stone chambers, what was it actually created to protect? Was it gold, priceless artifacts, ancient records, or something history has never documented? One fact continued to trouble everyone involved. Treasure hunters rarely build elaborate flood tunnels or construct massive chambers hundreds of feet underground. They usually hide valuables and leave. Whoever created this underground system seemed to be protecting something far more important than ordinary treasure. It almost looked as if they were trying to hide something from history itself. Today, the drilling equipment remains silent on Oak Island, while the monitors inside the war room continue displaying the same mysterious scan results. Engineers, geologists, and historians have reviewed the borehole footage countless times. Yet none of them have found a convincing explanation for what it revealed. What makes Season 13 feel different from every previous season isn't just the technology or the evidence. It's Rick Lagina's reaction. Over the years, he has faced collapsing shafts, failed excavations, financial losses, and endless disappointments. Yet every setback only made him more determined to continue. This time, however, was different. For the first time, he stepped back. Not because the search had failed, but because it may have actually succeeded. Several crew members later claimed that even after the machinery was shut down, and the excavation site became completely silent, strange metallic knocking sounds could still be heard echoing from deep underground. Some described them as distant impacts, while others believed they sounded like something moving far beneath the surface. One crew member summed up the experience with a single sentence. It didn't feel like treasure was down there. It felt like some kind of system. That simple observation gave everyone something to think about. Maybe what lies beneath Oak Island is more than a hidden vault. Perhaps it's an ancient structure that has remained untouched for centuries, waiting for the moment someone finally reached it. There's also another possibility that receives far less attention. What if the greatest discovery on Oak Island isn't treasure at all? What if the real value lies in understanding who built the underground system and why they wanted it hidden? Sometimes history itself is worth more than gold. A single document, an ancient map, or evidence of a forgotten civilization could completely change what historians believe about exploration and the earliest settlements in North America. In many ways, knowledge may be the greatest treasure of all. The longer experts study the evidence, the harder it becomes to dismiss. Modern technology continues revealing details that earlier generations could never have imagined. Ground-penetrating scans have become more precise. Borehole cameras now capture clearer images than ever before. Digital mapping allows investigators to compare centuries of excavation records in just minutes. Every improvement brings the team one step closer to understanding what lies beneath the island, but every answer also creates another mystery waiting to be solved. Even so, Oak Island has earned its reputation over more than 2 centuries by refusing to give up its secrets easily. Every major breakthrough has been followed by unexpected setbacks. Flood tunnels suddenly activate. Excavation shafts become unstable. Equipment fails at the worst possible moments. Underground conditions change without warning. Again and again, the island seems determined to protect whatever has remained hidden beneath it for generations. Whether these obstacles are simply natural geological events or part of a brilliant engineering design remains a question that continues to divide researchers. What cannot be denied is that this search has grown far beyond the possibility of buried treasure. It has become one of the longest-running archaeological mysteries of modern history. Millions of people around the world continue following every update because Oak Island represents something far greater than gold. It represents curiosity, determination, and humanity's endless drive to uncover the truth. Every new season reminds us that some mysteries refuse to fade, no matter how much time passes. Perhaps the greatest lesson of Oak Island is that history reveals itself one small clue at a time. Every piece of timber recovered from underground, every ancient coin, every fragment of pottery, every carved stone, and every mysterious scan adds another piece to a much bigger puzzle. On their own, they may seem insignificant, but together they tell a story that has fascinated explorers for generations and continues to inspire new discoveries today. Whether the final answer comes tomorrow or years from now, one thing is certain: the search is far from over. Somewhere beneath the island, the truth is still waiting. It has survived centuries of storms, failed expeditions, collapsing tunnels, and countless attempts to uncover it. Whatever lies hidden below has remained protected for more than 230 years, perhaps even longer. So now, the question is no longer whether something exists beneath Oak Island. The evidence increasingly suggests that it does. The real mystery is what it is, who placed it there, and whether the world is finally approaching the moment when one of history's greatest secrets will be uncovered. If you enjoyed this journey into one of the world's greatest mysteries, be sure to subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and never miss our next investigation. We bring you the latest discoveries, hidden history, unexplained mysteries, and exclusive Oak Island updates as soon as they happen. We'd also love to hear what you think. What do you believe is really buried nearly 220 feet beneath Oak Island? Is it a legendary treasure, an ancient vault, priceless historical artifacts, or something completely unexpected? Share your theory in the comments below, because your idea could become the next important piece of this incredible mystery. Until next time, keep questioning, keep exploring, and remember, some of history's greatest secrets remain hidden, waiting for the right moment to be revealed.